Welcome back to our conversation with Oksana Malysheva. Today we're talking about raising capital, and in our first segment we discussed Airbnb and how they got started. The question that most people have is, what do you do after you write the idea down? Do you try and get a customer? Is that the next move? Where do you go? What do you do?
The answer probably will be different for some startups, but going and getting a first customer, going and talking to your customer is always a great idea. It's a phenomenal first step. Ideally, the way you want to fund your business is you want to sell what you're doing to your customers and have them pay that. Ideally, if you have the path you want, you would never get to talk to people like me because your idea and your execution was so powerful that your customers are willing to pay for you to do that, and you reinvest that money back in the business. But regardless, we do not know what the market wants and needs, and until you talk to the customers, you might be way off base.
But some entrepreneurs they're not sure their idea is great, and as we said early in the introduction of this series, sometimes their family and friends are their worst critics about the idea. How do you validate that an idea might catch fire, that it has some potential?
Listen, any entrepreneur who enters this journey, it's a long and very arduous journey. So the most necessary ingredient that people often forget is your passion and your belief in what you're doing, and that is the only way to go. If you don't have that, you could very well be dissuaded by the friends and family who do think you're crazy, by someone on the street who tells that this is not yet ready for prime time. A lot of things would happen on your way. The number one ingredient for any successful entrepreneur that I've seen is the unbelievable passion and ability and willingness to do what it takes to walk through walls, to take that idea from something on their napkin on their kitchen table to something that people could use. It's a mission. It's a mission, it's not a job.
So you don't really want someone who says, okay, I believe you, it's a lousy idea, the first time somebody objects to it?
Well, you have to listen to smart people. Not everything that happens in your head meant to exist, but listening to feedback and letting other people dictate your dreams, those are two very different things. Your family and friends, they mean well, but if you're committed to having this idea, hear them out, see whether you agree or disagree, but make your own decision how you want to proceed.
So once you decide to proceed, then is the next thing to try and get a customer?
Yes, I think trying to get a customer is always the right move. Trying to talk to a customer is always the right move.
So do you have to frame your idea in some kind of understandable language, correct?
That really helps. I mean, depending upon what your company is, that could, talking to your customer, waving your hands, useful, but talking to your customer when you have something coded, like for instance, you've done an app and it's maybe rudimentary, but it already allows someone to experience what you're doing, might be a better move. The mistake I see people making a lot is believing that they have a complete and total vision for the product, and they go invest a lot of time and a lot of money in building something without talking to a single customer, only to discover the customer does not have a need for that product, or there is a much better solution that would serve that. And unless your name is Steve Jobs, and he was unique where he had such a complete and precise vision for the product, for almost everyone else, interacting with the customer, getting their feedback, not taking it at face value, but really absorbing it, would do your startup a lot of good.
So you adapt based on the feedback you get from potential customers as you begin your journey down this path?
Yes, you do. The one caveat is you do not let the customer, you're not order taker from your customer. So whatever the customers say, they may not yet have a full vision of what's needed, but you take that feedback, you absorb it, and you go back to the product map.